It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego die the politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My egun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. My egun don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come,
Hello there.
Glory Facebook, glory YouTube.
Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Brunch Time with Mayegun. Thank you so much for joining me as usual. Please read the caption of this broadcast, the description of the broadcast. Like it. Share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell all of them that Mayegun today. Mayegun today. It's like some of us already knows the lines. You are so accustomed to my line that you can actually repeat after me every time my ego comes up like this. To some extent, it is a message from T-Pain, message of deceit, message of lies, and then those who are building hope, false hope. I am here not to bust your bubble, but to kind of take you out of your own delusion. I still ask a lot of you who are on Mayegun's Diary Political, trying your best to see if you can have something to justify in defending Tifnumbu. Do you really think these people are capable of reversing the ruins and destructions and the losses that a lot of you have suffered in Nigeria in the last 9 years? I'm asking a direct question, a yes or no question. Do you believe that Tifnumbu is capable of changing your fortune in that contraption? For good, oh, but for the worse. But today, thank you so much. I know it's crazy, right? And it's not the music. Let's be honest, okay? It is not the music that is cracking. I think it is somehow, strangely, the settings of the mixer. The mixer is messed up. So currently, I am putting, I'm trying to kind of raise enough fund because to change my mixer, right? From the current one to another one is probably going to cost me about 900 to 1,000 pounds. That's a lot. And that's a lot that I do not have as a whole, right? So there are a few things I need to do as well. Upgrade the equipment in this studio. Yeah, we're supposed to have more than just 2 cameras, but in a situation whereby one single mixer will cost about 1,000 pounds. And a single camera, you see this one on the left here, this one, is the smallest of the cameras in the studio. I only have just about 2, okay? So it's the smallest, and I can say the cheapest. With the plus camera, the camera plus lens cost me about 3,200 pounds. That's the cheapest. You see this one that is facing me face to face here. That one is over 4,800 pounds. With the lens, where you are buying a single lens, camera lens. So imagine a camera lens for 1,800 pounds. That's a lot. So that is why I can't really just jump into upgrading or changing anything. But I am counting on a lot of your support, no doubt. Okay. And I do not take all of that for granted as well. Okay. So this is no longer the Mayegun that was in that kitchen. You know that. It's been so much improvement. Look at the mixer. This is it. It's called Road. I got it for about 700 pounds back then, and I believe it's the one that is messing up the audio. It is not the music. It is the mixer. I've done everything I should or I could, but it is still not giving me the music itself is a message. Copyrighted by myself, as you can see. But yeah, I am aware. And that is why I'm trying to kind of like improvise. Thank you so much, though. I promise you it is going to get better eventually. It is going to cost a lot of money, but it's going to get better. Gone are the days when I used to just use my phone. But now people watch Mayegun. People watch Mayegun on the big screen. Whether your TV is a 65-inch, 85-inch, even 100-inch screen, right? You get Mayegun there, and it's as sharp as blade. As razor. It's because of the cameras, okay? So which means that things have gone beyond just the phone. But back then with the phone, everything was fine. It could capture everything like that, and it's fine. Sorry about that. Anyway, okay. So thank you so much, everyone, for always being there, like indulging me. Let's keep managing it, okay? I promise you, it's going to get better. Here is something from Koolu, right? How many of you still remember this? Because it seems like forever, but it's not. This was less than 2 years ago, if you remember.
Wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ epo àwọn á di 200 á di bàbá. Ẹ fọkàn balẹ̀, àbàgbéwálẹ̀.
Ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀, ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀, ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀. Ìwúta fẹ́ kọ́lọ́wọ́ ṣe.
Wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ epo.
So that was him in Abeokuta when the dubious Dapo hosted him for his campaign. And Tinubu was there telling the supposed Yorubas in Yoruba that people are saying that the price of petrol is going to increase to 200. Hello, Fokambale. Go and rest your mind. We are going to reduce it. Don't mind them. Today, that liter of petroleum is not a 200 naira per liter anymore. It is times 6, times 7 of that. And the only message from Tifnumbu is that if you can't afford 1,200 naira per liter, maybe you should go and do CNG, which is just a 200 naira per meter. I don't even know what that means, but that's how he said it. Go and do 200 naira per meter. And as you know, the more many of you will begin to convert your cars to CNG, and it's going to be a matter of time. It will no longer be 200 naira per meter anymore. It will soon become 1,000 naira per meter as well. So, and then by then, a liter of petroleum would have become, maybe 2,000 naira per liter. In this life, in this world, who would ever imagine that? If somebody like Mayebu said that to you 2 years ago, it's going to be like, you are just an alarmist. You are just an alarmist. My friend, it's not possible. The economy standard, the economy, because it's like Mayebu is the one who just doesn't like Nigeria. And when I say things based on what I am aware of, information that I believe they are in the public domain already, right? Somebody like myself will say the truth to you, and I won't sugarcoat it. And my truth, when I say them to you, they usually appear like it's my wish. And it's not my wish. I've said that many times on this platform that wishes don't build countries. Wishes don't build economies. It is the actions or inactions of those in charge that will determine whether your economy is going to go down south or it is going to be stable. It is not the wish of anybody. See, somebody may say, I wish Nigeria, Baba. If wishes were horses, beggars will ride, they say. But look at the actions of these guys. Now, Tifnumbu came in. He lied to you. I'll keep reminding you. He lied to you that they have removed subsidy, which happened to be a lie. Now, majority of you believed that lie and then justified your suffering. And this issue of price of petrol, the way they put it is like some selfish people are just increasing the prices of goods and services, okay? Ignoring the fact that if you buy a liter of petroleum for 1,000 naira, 1,200 naira, there is a ripple effect, which the criminal politicians were supposed to be in the know, but they don't care. Before Tifnumbu, Nigeria was paying 428 billion naira every month. I'm talking about over 5 trillion naira on subsidy. It was obvious. Meanwhile, if you go back the memory lane, Buhari removed subsidy 3 times. The first time Buhari said he removed subsidy, your petroleum price jumped from, remember, 87 naira in 2016, 87 naira to 125 naira or so. Then, sorry, from 97 naira rather, right? 97 naira to 120 something. But they kept paying subsidy. But they told you they've removed it. That's why the price was up. Then in 2017, they removed subsidy again. And the petroleum price jumped from there to 145 naira or so. Abi? Then in 2019, they claimed again that they've removed subsidy. Okay? And petroleum price jumped to 167 naira. But the lies, some of you probably discovered later, or you probably didn't even discover, because to you don't even remember the reason why the price of petroleum jumped under Buhari, that they removed subsidy. They announced that subsidy is gone too. Buhari announced that. Only for them to, from when Nigeria was paying subsidy of 350 billion a year, and that was 27 billion naira subsidy every month. Suddenly, that jumped to 1 trillion a year, 2 trillion, 3 trillion, 4 trillion, 5 trillion. And when you break that down, right, Nigeria started paying over 100 billion subsidy a month. And meanwhile, you are paying more yourself, you are paying more. Then Nigeria started paying 428 billion a month for subsidy. And you were paying more too. You're buying the litre at the time for 187 naira. Right? Do you remember? No? Okay. So when Tifnubu now came, he said subsidy was gone. Happy boom. From 187 naira to 610 naira. Abi? Meanwhile, they are still the ones setting the price. So, okay. 610 naira per litre. They should make it available, because all of now you are too tired. You can no longer protest. You can't even fight anymore. NSC is in disarray, already blackmailed to a corner. If you protest in Nigeria today, it is considered a treasonable felony. That means you want to overthrow government. That is it in Nigeria. Do you know that? People that used to protest anyhow, today, if you protest in Nigeria, it is considered treasonable felony. That means you want to overthrow government. Yeah, they will write it. They will read it to you in court. Nigerian courts. If they take you to court, yeah, court will say you want to overthrow government. If you go out there and say, we need good government, we need this and that, I say, you want to overthrow government, treasonable felony. And treasonable felony is death sentence. Anyone found guilty of treasonable felony in Nigeria is to be killed. That is the, they have a name for it too. In law, I think it's called the, I can't remember anyway. They have a name for it, Sha. A name that's more or less like a supreme judgment, sort of, right? Punishment. They will go kill you. Tifnumbu and APC, Egbekegbe, are now using treasonable felony to scare citizens away from demanding for responsible government through peaceful protest and all of that. Now it's treasonable. Their judges, the judiciary agrees. If they take you to their courts, they will kind of remind you in prison for as long as they want. They will drop the charges, so eventually, here you get, but they will threaten to kill you if you protest in Nigeria now, right? 610 naira per litre. People had no motivation to protest. They said, shall make it available. Tifnumbu now replaced the beneficiary of the subsidy with his own family members, as well as his own family business. The subsidy money in Nigeria now jumped from 428 billion to nearly 1 trillion naira every month. Do you know that? The Nigerian naira got floated by these criminals. Yeah, I don't know if you still remember, Shadat. 17, 18 months ago, Tifnumbu and these criminals, they met your naira to dollar at the rate of official 610 naira. Black market, 710 naira to a dollar. Today, Nigerian naira to dollar is now 1,730 naira to $1 within a space of 1.5 years. And guess what? The subsidy money, they don't call it subsidy anymore. They call it forex subsidy. So what they design it as is that instead of saying we are paying subsidy on petroleum, they said they are paying subsidy on dollars. So they are now paying dollars equivalent of what would have been naira. When Bukwari was there, his own subsidy was 428 billion. Today, they are paying nearly 1,980 billion naira every month. But subsidy was gone. So they now switched that to naira equivalent, dollar equivalent. And that is what Wale Idun announced last week and said, we are stopping all subsidy now. We stopped all dollar subsidy. We stopped all forex subsidy. Yeah. Who is deceiving who? The Oando. That now got the import license to import petroleum to Nigeria, including matrix oil and maybe other two as well, right? These are the people who are now sharing the dollars. You know, whenever Nigeria has any dollar in available, they give it to them. Oando's business or net worth jumped from 70 billion naira. You have been hearing about Oando. The entire Oando business, they know what's more than 70 billion naira. Today, within a year of Tifnumbu, Oando's business has now not only doubled, tripled, quadrupled, quintupled, or I want to say sextupled, but I don't think there's any word like that. The Oando is now worth over 1.4 trillion naira within a space of 1 year, and that is just the peripheral. Because you know something, Oando is worth over 4 trillion naira now, courtesy the patronage of Nigeria's importation of fuel. And the reason why Dangote Refinery, that they once told you, will bring you succor. I mean, okay, hang on. Some of you thought I was a bad belly. Abobaku. If you are an Abobaku watching me, right? Remember, you thought I was a bad belly. Telling you then that this Dangote Refinery was not ready. And no. You thought I was the bad belly, Abi. And today, Dangote Refinery is at 45 to 50% working. It's not even full capacity yet. Full capacity of Dangote Refinery would have been a 680,000 barrel processing plant a day. Yeah, that's the capacity. Dangote Refinery was supposed to be refining 680,000 barrel of crude oil every day. But right now, its capacity can only refine between 150,000 to 200,000 barrel. It's not even like that half per se. So Dangote Refinery can refine what Nigeria needs without Nigeria importing anything anymore. And you see, if it comes upstream, like full circle, like full stream, right? Refining 680,000 barrels. That means Dangote alone, and its refinery can supply the needed petroleum products for more than 2/3 of Africa. Dangote will be like the richest. It can become like the second or third richest man in the world. Not black man, no. You get? Because in Africa, more than, Africa, officially, Africa has 50 countries in Africa. And out of these 50 countries, only few are oil producing countries, okay? Nigeria, Angola, and few others like that, right? However, more than 35 African countries import the petroleum products from Europe and all over the world. Only maybe 2 or 3 of them actually refines the crude oil in their own countries, like Nigeria Republic, but they are not really that big. Here you get. So the market for Dangote outside Nigeria, imagine. So if Dangote is able to capture, I think this is what they sold to him when he decided to go into the refinery business, okay? Like Omo, number one, you will capture Nigeria. Millions of people there, or millions of customers, right? You're going to capture Ghana. You're going to capture as far as even South Africa. Here you get. The entire West African countries, right? Dangote will probably cover more than 80% of the market if it becomes fully operational. So Dangote said he was interested in buying Nigerian refineries, refurbish them, and begin to use them to produce. But criminal politicians in Nigeria, government will never sell to him. So he decided to build from scratch. And politicians started using Dangote refineries as the way out of this whole wahala of subsidy, importation, and all of that stuff. No, I'm talking about official number. Anyway, I think there are some few other countries that makes it about 54 countries, Abby. So I will use the I will use the phrase over 50 countries then, Abby, in Africa. So Dangote, that these criminal politicians, especially the APC, Ebekebe told you, is coming to come and make Nigeria Naira strong because Forex will be falling in from all over Africa. Yeah, Dangote won't be selling in Naira. I mean, sorry, it won't be selling in dollars. It will probably, in Naira, it will be selling in dollars to these African countries. So Forex will fall in Nigeria. Nigeria will stop paying this humongous amount of subsidy in dollars to oil marketers anymore. Everybody will stay at home. There's no more importation. Abi? But I said they lied to you because they did lie to you. Okay? So last, Dangote, the billionaire, is now kind of telling us that he didn't know that Bokwari has used the future oil prospects in Nigeria. That is any oil, crude oil, that is extracted from Nigeria, from the ground in Nigeria. They've used that as a collateral to borrow money, the money they've spent. You can't tell what Bokwari used the money for. All gone. So Dangote refinery, even at the half capacity, is now importing crude oil from Brazil, from Texas in America, and all over the world, wherever you can get the crude oil from. Isn't that even like really mental? It's crazy. So now they are now telling you that Dangote refinery is not a charity. Same politicians. And then Dangote is now battling with the supposed government that was supposed to protect him and his business because Tifnumbu's interest in this whole thing is personal. Everything else is political. If Dangote refinery should be allowed to go have access to crude oil, which is not available, access to crude oil, and begin to refine and produce every day, and then cut off all importation, right? That simply means that Ohando would have to close shop in their way of crooked ways or their criminal ways. Normally, Ohando shouldn't close shop, just go on and buy from Dangote. But no, how then would they collect subsidy? Because that subsidy would have to be paid to Dangote. Now, it won't be paid to these oil marketers anymore. So that subsidy, the market, everything will now come to Dangote. No, it's not going to happen. They won't let that happen. But who is going to pay? You. So they started the campaign of CNG, this IPCO. I think it's called IPCO or something. There's a company, this Indian company, that is currently, they've given them the, the contracts. The contracts to help convert your cars to CNG, compressed natural gas. So, Amagbewale, Elofokambale, other nonsense, is now a mirage. It will no longer happen.
Wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ epo àwọn á di 200, á di 5. Ẹ fọkàn balẹ̀, Amagbewale.
Ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀, ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀, ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀.
Elofokobale. So rather than Biwale, they are now asking you to convert your generator, convert your car, convert everything around you to CNG. And these guys, NIPCO, are the ones who got the contract. So with this, to Tifnumbu, these ones are not, they are not competitors to him. Sure you get? On the issue of petroleum, this and that, that is for handle. And there's nobody that will change that. Dangote can wait until when maybe another government that will be sympathetic to you takes power. But as long as it is Koolu, Dangote is either going to sell his refinery to, that's one thing though. This one is my own projection. Last, they think probably force Dangote, make him sell it because that's the only way probably the likes of Tifnumbu would allow Dangote refinery to work and stop importation as we speak. They were supposed to stop, they told you they were supposed to stop importation the moment Dangote refinery start working, Abi. But rather, they have quadrupled it now. So maybe they are going to force him to sell to Wale Tinubu. Yeah, they will sell the refinery. You know, it's built in Lagos anyway. They will force him to sell it as maybe scrap to cut his own losses and say, how much do you want? Let's take it from you. You cannot be in competition with Tifnumbu. There's no way. You can't. Ask everyone. Ask around. Dangote paid $100 million for the land in Lagos. But Tifnumbu's ass leakers are saying Tifnumbu gave Dangote land in Lagos. Until Dangote came out and said, no, they didn't give me anything. I paid $100 million. The people they collected their land in Lagos for Dangote, they did not receive a shishi. They did not receive kobo, dime. They told them that Ogun State of Irokunle Omamoshi, Amosu, denied Dangote because Amosu was asking for $50 million before he could give Dangote land. So Dangote approached Tifnumbu, and guess what? He ended up paying $100 million for that Dangote land in Ibeshe. The people of Ibeshe, that they took their land, $1 they don't see, $1. Today, they have sued Lagos state government when they heard that Dangote paid them $100 million for that land. You know what happened after? DSS have arrested the member of the family. They have sued Lagos state government. You have not heard much of it because they have killed the news. DSS have picked some of them up. God knows where they are right now. Yeah, true story. Go and Google it now. Google it now. Check it. After Dangote made the announcement that the people that were supposed to protect his business, that Nigerians have suffered too much. Yeah. Remember those drama, that drama then, right? The family heard about it. And they came out and said, they told us that it's for development. So this guy paid money. You don't give us anything. You took our land. We are taking you to court. 2 days later, they picked all of them up. All the family members that their name appeared in that court case, DSS picked them up. to Abuja. Nobody has heard from them again. Yeah, nobody has heard from them. So what they will do to Dangote last, it will sell it as a scrap. They're going for any 10 billion. We can write you a check there. They leave the refinery and go back to Kano. You will see. That's one of the things that those who claim to be the elite in Nigeria, who always love to look away when rogues like Koolu and others are seeking power, because to them, they are government, they are friends of, they're like Ajip, they call them Ajip or Agip, all government in power. Here you get, because to them, it will never get to them, it will never reach them. Now the poor people go, they suffer, they can't suffer. Now you have seen somebody who is so selfish enough that he would love to own the whole world, because he wanted to satisfy the American, because it's like an American asset now, right? In case if you don't know. So because he wants to satisfy his American friends, right? The ones that are keeping a compromise on him, he called out and he awarded a coastal road or a coastal highway project to nowhere. A project that nobody have access to any details of it, for 15 trillion, $12 billion to his own friend, Shaguri, right? All because they wanted to, build one fancy, sort of a fancy road to their Eco Atlantic, a place that is going to become inaccessible to you, ordinary Nigerians, as time goes by, right? You will not be able to go there anymore. Or you would have to go there with a pass. And once they are done building that part, the rest of the money is gone. And those of you in Calabar, you can keep waiting for the super highway coming your way, because it will never come your way. So similarly, Tifnumbu and his gang would eventually, have Dangote to say, you know what, if you really want to cut your losses, right? Just sell us that will be the time that Nigeria would then stop importation of this petroleum product. For now, what changed when Tifnubu said subsidy was gone was that now people with the collect them then, they were gone. The new guys who are collecting it today, no competition. So that's why Tifnubu has now, he's saying now that if you cannot afford 1,200 naira per liter, then you should go and change to CNG. Meanwhile, from Tifnumbu to your lawmakers, senators, reps, governors, their commissioners, all of them, they are buying themselves V8 SUV cars. SUVs, V8 engine, that are guzzling petroleum like it's water. They are not changing to CNG because it's all free. From the bulletproof SUV to the the fuel that they are going to be consuming, it's all free. So you will pay for them. It's not really free, but really, but you pay for them. So they now send this madman. You know that guy that went on Channels TV the other day? Yeah, it was also on Arise TV yesterday, blaming all this, is blaming the manufacturers in a country. It was the same guy who said Nigerians are wasteful when it comes to electricity. Country that they said needed over 40,000 megawatts of electricity to function is barely producing 5,000 megawatts or generating 5,000 megawatt electricity, distributing less than 2,000 megawatt electricity. The guy went on TV and said, Nigerians are wasteful when it comes to electricity. They need to cut down. Well, it was on Arise TV too yesterday. I need to warn you, in case if you get so pissed off listening to this. I was.
Is it when people finish dying that we will understand that these reforms are killing people? Because I get what you're doing. I get the trickle-down economics. The currency is cheaper. There's been a devaluation now. But the argument is it never trickles down. The
That's not true.
deregulation. No, hang on a minute. And I'm going to give you empirical stats.
Okay, tell me.
Under Reagan, when Reagan
Yes.
deregulated the oil sector, America pushed up child poverty. The contestation between the Republicans and the Democrats all these years has always been the case of trickle-down economics that never really trickled down.
It pushed up child poverty in the short term.
And I get this.
But if you look in the 90s when Bill Clinton came, you saw the reverb effect.
No, because Bill Clinton pushed forward to more growth.
Because
more
he had the fiscal room to do so.
More capital injection in the economy. He brought about more projects. He solidified
because he had the fiscal room to do so.
Industry. But it doesn't go to the poor people. So when you look at it, I get this. Yeah, money is cheap. It's going to favor you people. It's not going to favor the poor people out of the street.
I don't think that's true. Let me
poor people out of the street.
Let me do some math. Let me just do some math. Right? Yeah. $10,000, right? Of investment into the country at 306, right, is about 30 million, if my math is correct, right? The same $10,000, I'm sorry, no, it's about 3 million, sorry, at the time, 306 naira to the dollar. That same 10,000 at 1,670 is about 16 million. At the old minimum wage, which is where I personally have my own quibbles, we need to raise the minimum rate so that employers learn to be more productive. Labor wages are too cheap in Nigeria.
Manufacturing is saying they can't even pay.
They need to automate and hire less people.
No, wait.
They are not innovating.
No, wait a minute.
That is their problem, not the government.
Wait a minute. Did you see the minimum wage conversation when it was going on?
I did.
Manufacturers and employers of labor said they couldn't even pay. Even this 70,000 is a struggle for them because, one, you have no economic fecundity. There's no economic viability as we speak.
It's not true. The costs are high.
Really?
Costs are high.
They
are not innovating.
The economy is doing so well and people are doing so well.
No, it's not about the economy doing so well.
Yes.
It's about productivity.
Where's the productivity in the economy?
Well, it should come from the employers. It should come from the business people. They are not doing their jobs. Look, let me finish my math argument because there's a tendency to make arguments that are skewed to one side, but not to actually think about the economy in a macro sense.
Show me the productivity.
So, no, just listen to me. At the new minimum wage with 60 million naira, you can employ 85 more people than you would at a 30,000 minimum wage with the new exchange rate. What we need to
discounting for inflation?
Well, we're not. This inflation is a function of supply. It's not a function of money. If you like, create as much money as you like.
Just land your point.
So
that we can just
my larger point is, at the end of the day, the economy needs to be more productive. The employers are not as productive as they need to be. That's why they're hiring people. The people themselves are not as skilled as they need to be, which is why we have this problem. The exchange rate will not fix that. Even if the exchange rate is 1 naira to $1, these issues will not go away. This is hard work. Employers must do. Manufacturers must do. The schools, the universities must do. They must move with technology. They must increase productivity. The exchange rate is just baselining us with the rest of the world. It's allowing us to be globally competitive. And this is important.
Okay, let me just ask you, well, global competition has its own issues with all that crisis in Kenya and all of that. I don't know whether you want to address that.
Yeah, Africa is learning the hard way that it has to be globally competitive.
Yeah, but my question is,
how do you become globally competitive where, as a manufacturer, to start with, as a manufacturer, you do not have a cheap, or should we say, even if it's not cheap, you do not have, you do not have access to cheap power. You have to, let me put this camera out. You have to provide your own electricity. In this instance, where the criminals even provide you electricity, you have to pay through what is called your nose. And blaming them that they should be more productive and at the same time they should innovate is, how do you innovate where you have a lot of supposedly unemployed people that needs to be employed in this regard, Abi. And the cost of production in itself is just out of the roof. What is mostly killing businesses, where manufacturers are saying they are finding it difficult to keep up, even to pay salaries. Okay? To pay the salaries of the workers is becoming almost impossible now. Where you used to pay, put it this way, where you used to probably pay 10,000 naira, right? Now I want to use real math. Let's use 200 naira per liter of petroleum, or where you had 1,000 naira for diesel, okay, to provide your own electricity. And then today, a liter of petroleum has jumped to 1,000 plus for a manufacturer. That is like cutting deep into your running cost on its own, right? And then you have workers whose pay can't really take them home, so to say. Sure, you get. So you have these workers that are either underpaid or unpaid at all, but to keep yourself floating, to keep yourself still functional, right? You have to cut deep into your running costs, as it has been for so many in that place. So some businesses are unable to. So if you now said you want to innovate, for example, let's say you want to probably like computerize your operation. So that means you would have to let some people go. Happy? Or if you'd have to hire people that would possibly have much skills. I mean, it doesn't really make sense. I'm trying to kind of make a point out of what that madman tried to put out there, okay? Because let's say I have a factory with 1,000 workers, and the economy, the inflation and the rest of that has eaten so much into our operational cost, so to say. And people who used to get paid, let's say 100,000 naira, when before this inflation got this bad, we are still paying them 100,000 naira. Remember, they've been with us and they have all the skills that we need in that place. So if I want to innovate, is it just to go and hire new guys who would have new skills that I believe if I had that skills to my business is when my production will jump, or if I pay my staff more and I can't pay them more since my running cost is now more or less like has jumped by maybe 500%. So that means I will either cut down the workforce so that I'll be able, if I want to pay more, okay? So I will either cut down the workforce maybe by half so that I can increase their salary to match the inflation that is now existing, Abi. Then another thing, depends on what you are producing as well. You need, the business in this world is about demand and supply. Sure, you get. The demand will determine the supply, so to say. Abi? So more people have become poorer these days that the purchasing power of the people have been so ruined and destroyed. Not to talk of the exchange rate, which is also part of it too. So people's purchasing power has been cut down so much that businesses are not really being patronized as they were used to anymore. So a business that will now survive under this kind of situation, which I say put it to, governments cannot be blamed for this, but government policies have brought about all of this upon these struggling businesses, okay? So if the demands are so reduced, inflation has jumped so high, and as a business, you are struggling, So what would innovation do in this whole thing? I'm just trying to kind of like see if I could make a sense out of this and maybe push out a question. Do you understand what I'm trying to kind of do here? let me try again. Let me try again. Because maybe I was so raging listening to him enough that I was like, man, you are supposed to be a tech guy, okay? Back in the days, this guy was with Pastor Ruga, among those aspire to perspire, aspire to Maguire and to acquire, all those nonsense, motivational nonsense. He's one of them. So Nigeria Naira lost its value, lost over 1,000% of its value, like shrank so bad, right? That businesses, they have to pay to run their business or to keep their businesses running right now. They have to pay like times, maybe times 6, times 7 of what they used to. Meanwhile, out there, people have become so poor, right? That patronage, which is the demand, is very down. So every business in that country can tell you how much patronage has been so reduced, right? But you still have to keep your production up, Abi. Then at some point, your production will have to reduce as well. So who would you probably put the blame on, even if you want to innovate? Innovation means you probably have to do something that will cut your cost, Abi, cut the cost of production, and then increase, your output. That's something that would be like innovation. To innovate, Abi. So more and more people have become sort of laid off, jobless in this regard. So the economy is at its lowest as we speak. And the government that is making all these policies have to be exonerated, and the whole thing should be put on you, the producer or the manufacturer and the rest. So as a business person, listening to somebody that says it is your fault that your business is struggling, even if you try to borrow, or what do you call it, borrow to continue to produce, and then the people that you are producing for can't even afford. Yeah, they can't afford to buy what you are producing. How long do you think you are still going to keep that production without cutting the size of your workforce? Because the situation right now is that businesses are dying. Not only struggling, a lot of them are dying. And as businesses are dying, jobs are dying too. So that obese mofo is on TV. I don't know, maybe he's doing a spin job for Tifnumbu as we speak, but it's just the second time. So he said, even if the exchange rate is 1 naira to $1, the point is this: it won't be $1 to 1 naira to $1, right? Even if the business, even if the exchange rate is 2,000 naira to $1, right? If the government policies is out there to continue to stifle businesses, so production will remain low, and the people that you are producing, because every production is for consumption, it's for people to consume them, Abi. So if the people that are meant to consume this stuff have become so broke, so poor that they can't even afford them anymore, so what will be the essence of your production? What will be the essence of your innovation? So if you become digitalized, for example, you begin to use maybe robots and all that. So how is that also going to help improve the economy? Because not many people will get job, will get paid, and then they will be able to kind of use their pay to patronize whatever they need for themselves, Abi? So it's there. And in all honesty, somebody like that, if they come into my studio to come and push a narrative for, yeah, I'm struggling. You can see in Africa, while I'm struggling to try to kind of put this out in a layman way. If MTN, right, decide to start printing, okay, I think I found a way around it now. So let's say all these your telcos in Nigeria, okay, printing recharge card, is computer generated, numbers, Abi. But if people are not buying them, what would be the essence of that smartness or innovation of cutting the cost of production? If this we need to cut the cost of producing one single card, or let's cut the cost of producing Pampers, or let us cut down the cost of producing. I'm just using this stuff that are direct stuff that you can buy now, Abi. But the people that are going to demand for them, they have shrunk in number enough that you can tell that the demand has dropped. Would you continue producing just to make yourself feel good that, would you? Even if you decide to sell the Pampers for 100 naira, which is impossible when you kind of factor in all of other stuff. Even if you decide to sell a pack of Pampers for 100 naira, and people are choosing between Pampers and food for their babies, and they said, well, we'll go for food and we'll use nappy. So what would be the benefit of that, your production of Pampers, when people are not going to be able to buy or afford it, or more people are unable to afford it? The bottom line is that they have destroyed the purchasing power of the people, where what you could get, like he put it to $10,000 back then would be 1.5 million. What's that? Yeah. So before these criminals came to power, a dollar in Nigeria was 148 naira officially back then in 2014, 2015. It is today 1,720 naira to a dollar. That's probably the cheapest you will see. So $10,000 in 2014, 2015 will give you 1.4 or 1.5 million naira. At most, you get 2 million naira. Yeah? Black market. Now, today, $10,000 is going to be 17.2 million naira. Now, that's a lot of money. But the point is that the inflation and all that has sort of eaten deep into that country means in 2015, a bag of rice was 7,500 naira. And with $10,000, you could probably get yourself more than 600. So you could probably get yourself up to 2,400 bags for $10,000. Today, the same $10,000 is about 17 million naira. A bag of rice is now over 100,000 naira. You see, the money is much. So what you will use in buying one bag today, in 2014, will buy you 20 bags. Or, yeah, that's about 20 bags of rice. That's what you will use to buy one bag today. So, a minimum wage in in fact, the minimum wage just 18 months ago was 30,000 naira. With the exchange rate, that was $78. Today, the minimum wage is 70,000 naira, and it is a paltry $42. So this is the purchasing power. So even if you are working somewhere and you are being paid 200,000 naira, then you realize that can't even pay for your food, feeding, as well as your transportation. Talk less of anything else, even though you are being paid 200, 300,000 naira. So you would then have to start choosing between either food or so that also affects every other thing that you have to pay for. What you make demands on, what you buy, what you use, and all of that stuff. it affects them all. So if you're a manufacturer of anything in Nigeria, apart from the fact that you keep struggling to stay in business, your main problem is patronage. When you go to some of these stores in Nigeria today, you will think, man, something happened. A friend was telling me about speaking to his mom. He was on the phone with his mom, who is a trader in Lagos. And they had a video call. And the mama was like, let me show you something. Say, look at her streets. Kilo happen. What happened on your street? Why is everywhere so dry? I said, this is how we're going to sit for hours. And you barely see anybody pass. Talk less of somebody coming to say, please, for me Coke. I want to buy Coke, or I want to buy bread. And that's how it is. There are a lot of them can't even believe they can't believe in their widest imagination that now Lagos be this. This is Lagos. Or more. They can't believe that Tifnumbu's time can be like this. Like they just couldn't imagine it. You are a trader, you are selling something, and you will just sit down like almost all day. And there's nobody passing by to say, what are you selling? Can you please give me this noodles, give me egg, give me this and that. I'm talking about these petty traders who kind of have their shops in their own houses, right? This is the reality out there. It is different from speaking grammar or speaking all this nonsense on TV. But somebody like that don't care. So they blame the manufacturers that you are not innovative. You need to kind of find an innovative way of getting people on to come and buy. How? What do you need to do to make people who have nothing? Even those who have the money has become almost valueless. No value. You get paid 100,000 naira. What do you want to buy with it? And that's the problem. And how many people actually have a chance or have a job that pays them 500,000 naira every month? How many people? So it has reduced so much that even the traders themselves barely go back to the manufacturers to say, I need another supply. That is the situation. So there's no amount of being innovative and all that. In a place where you are buying the most expensive electricity, which is darkness, you are paying more, the most for petroleum. Baba, Nigerian petrol price is almost the same as dollars now. Yeah. It's almost the same. Imagine buying a liter of petroleum for 1,600 naira, 1,500 naira. How much is a dollar to naira? That's the reality now. So sitting somewhere and begin to talk grammar, this, grammar, that, and all that is so, man, it can't be like say these guys are not humans. I think they are just mocking you. That's the way I would say it. Just like this guy put it. These guys are not in government to run a country. They are business people, right? And you are the commodity they are trading.
They're not running the country. They are doing business. Occasionally, they get distracted with governmental duties. But their primary business, they are just business people. And they think, that's why they are trying to run petroleum industry rather than, have a regulatory framework. They're not running the economy. They're not running government. They're just trying to, they don't see you and me as citizens. They see us as customers. So they are mercantile in their approach. So they see you, oh, you're a customer. I can get extra money from you by hoarding petrol. I can get extra money from you by underfunding public education. So they're not really to do anything. And they're not willing to comply with Chapter 2 of the Constitution, which stipulates how governance should be done in Nigeria. What the responsibility of government? Call anybody in government. They are not responsible for anything. Right. Because the Minister of Water Resources is not responsible for whether you have water or not. The Minister of Education is not responsible for educational outcome, whether the student fail WAEC, fail JAM. It's not responsible. The Minister of Health is not responsible for the life expectancy or medical outcomes. They are just carrying this title to enable them to put their signature to award contracts. But they're not, beyond that, they're not going to do anything. You remember that in the past, Lagos had the best water in all the English-speaking world. Lagos. Yeah. Better than London, Brisbane, Ottawa, anywhere. Nobody is giving water to anybody. Before, we had the best hospitals. UCH Ibadan used to come first or second, the entire English-speaking world. They're not doing any of those things. So we have people who are in power, but they're not in government because they're not governing. They're not running the country. They're doing business. Occasionally, they get distracted with governmental duties, but their primary business.
You get that? They are not running government. They are doing business. They are trading. You are the people they are trading in. Oh, you see them all about awarding contracts and all of that. Paying out money to themselves, to their friends. It's never about governance. No, it's about money. And that's what you get to see more. And that's why when they come out to talk, they don't talk like they are human beings who have empathy, who have feelings, who can put themselves in your shoes. They don't talk like that. That your child can't afford the school. They'll say then, go and tell your child to go and learn work. It is not about, we need, as a government, we need to provide the educational. We must provide the quality educational. As a government, we need to provide the quality healthcare. If we really want, no. To them, it's going to be like, if you can't afford government, if you can't afford private hospital, go to government hospital. The same one they will never go to. Sure, you get. So they are businessmen. And whatever they can take is what they can take. Yeah, is the former presidential candidate of the SDP. It's a lousy guy too. Adebayo. But he's saying the truth. Here you get. So you see them, they removed subsidy on education. And then they said they are giving you student loan. The loans that your children will have to pay back, not grants. Because they don't care if your child gets education or not. It's none of their business. Listen, it's not free. Oh, this is going to affect other businesses. Oh, this expensive, petrol and all of that is going to affect us. Well, if you can't afford it, go and do CNG. That's cheaper. Just similar way the Wiki spoke to these guys in Abuja yesterday. So cringy, isn't it?
You can't go to a place and see man we won't allow that. We won't allow that. It's not for lawlessness. You don't know what to do. Then we'll teach you what you can do.
Thank you. What can we do, sir?
Thank you, sir. We are not land grabbers. We are developers. Developers, what about developers? We have
papers, sir.
We have submitted this paper to the authority. Verifiable. Hold on. Yes, sir. Approval is there, sir. Yes. You have your CFO.
This is Area Council.
Hold on. Who told you? That's why you make it. Hey, keep quiet. If you are an idiot, you're an idiot. Every man in the city belongs to the city.
We know.
And that was why
now
went and sold land. This time they don't do anything. The Supreme Court said you don't have power. And all they did was to apply to us to please calm them that they can give them CFO. You don't sit here to talk
So, do we go back to the area council? Do we go back to the area council and
yes.
We're in court, sir.
But yeah, we'll take our land. Not if you like, go and carry across. And the worst one is go and carry across. Who told you we have a
We did not harass you, sir. It's a lie, We did not harass them, It's a lie, It is a lie, sir.
You know I will listen to you, but I'm taking the laws into your hand.
We never did,
sir.
It's a wrong information,
It's a wrong information. Lisa, we don't even know the reason why.
Sir, it's okay, sorry.
Who told you can talk? If you think that you take something, you are not the only one. You have to be careful. Stupid. Because I came there to talk to you. I don't need to talk to you.
Sorry, sir.
Sorry, sir.
If you don't know what to do, go and bring their guns.
No, sir.
No, sir. We don't have guns.
We have no guns.
No guns, sir.
Even tear gas, you can't see it with us.
They took their land. You know, Wiki is now famous for grabbing lands in Abuja now in the name of Tifnumbu. That's what they are doing now. Then he will accuse the people of harassing him, abusing him, and others. Give me a sec, I want to sneeze.
I think now statistic we go chop. A lie with arithmetic that no Indian can solve it.
These are the guys in charge of that contraption, okay? Psychophants, psycho patients, and all that. People have their C of O, certificate of occupancy, their land title, but they do not amount to anything in front of these guys. To them, it is whatever they say that is final, not the law. They are above the law. And if you don't believe it, go to court. The same court that has become so compromised. Where the wicked took people's lands. They were there protesting that, no, they would, this shouldn't happen. Yeah. And they are doing, no, sir, no, sir. Typical Nigerians. Everything is sir. Sorry, sir. On top of your own land, with all the documents, he's accusing them of land grabbing. The owners of their land with their document, he's accusing them of grabbing land. And it must be true because we are the government. You think you go shh. Who told you that you can talk? Without those policemen, with the wicked, if you face them like that, no go tear them. Because it is business for them. The citizens will cry, and you can cry blood. Yeah, cry blood. He's doing his work, he's doing this. Even if a court says he's wrong, he's not going to obey the court, ever. But the conquered Nigerians are always there. Sorry, sir. No, sir. Sorry, we don't have any guns, sir. Even we don't have, sir, please, sir. God, please, sir. That's what they do in Nigeria. And then these criminals walk about like they are God. They are like, this God on earth. So to say. It's unbelievable. Because to them, everything is business, not governance. I saw the Unilag students who were protesting their increase in their hotel fees today. They can protest. Nothing is going to happen. If they overdo it, they will be arrested. Some of them will be rusticated. And then they will see force that increment on them. In this economy, because it is business. These guys took subsidy on education. Then they decided to subsidize their own lives. Luxury this, luxury that, and more money for them. But the rest of you can go to blazes. That's the most they can do. No. We no go agree. So then the next thing you're going to hear, solely. Everybody go respond. Solidarity for it. Solely. But they'll still have to. So when somebody said Nigerians are conquered people, it is obvious. I know people have told us here that, you see, my ego is not easy. If you are in that country, let us be honest. How many times did you see, even us when we're in the, how many times did you see Nigerians go out there to go and fight these guys? The answer is that it was never this bad. It was bad, though, but it was never this bad. Secondly, there was no social media that should have, there was no social media to actually really give us this consciousness, right? We didn't have social media to give us this level of consciousness 10, 20 years ago. Do you understand? Today, people know what is going on. And I don't think it's actually really ideal to say, well, you know, people some said that we protested, they killed us. We decided to vote and then they rigged us. But these days, everything happening in every corner of that contraption, as they are happening, right? Everything is right there online. We didn't have that 20 years ago. No, we didn't. We didn't have that. We did not have this level of consciousness. But people still managed to stand up to different kind of government in that contraption. At least, but these days, it is unbelievable. People will just make a joke out of it. They will laugh at it every day. God will help us, Jerry. Only God can help us. Hey. But they have no choice. You just have to take it. Because people are more interested in finding ways in how to better themselves than others, while others are doing everything to just get out of that place. Japa. Get out of that place. And every now and then there is there is this religion or that religion that is telling them that better days are coming. Everything will be fine. Continue to pray and all of that. So people are not interested in anything confrontational. And the criminal politicians they are aware of that. Yes, they are. And others are just willing to pay us. Settle us. We don't want to fight you. And some people, they try to want to make us fight you. We believe that you are God sent. Nigeria don't spoil before you. So that's why we'll give you time and all of that. And in most cases, when people are not direct victims of some certain things, then they don't believe that that thing is happening. Remember this issue of hundreds, if not thousands of roadblocks in eastern part of Nigeria. There's one thing, by the way, there's one thing about these roadblocks in eastern part of Nigeria. Eastern part of Nigeria is not where you have the Fulani terrorists, Boko Haram, the famous terrorists in the up north. But when you go to the eastern part of Nigeria, you will think that's actually like northern part of Nigeria. But there's one thing that somebody observed. There is so much effort to destroy the economy of the eastern part of Nigeria. Yeah, and the government of Nigeria is very much interested in it. Right? So they have people called the unknown gunmen this, unknown gunmen that are really wreaking havoc as well in some part of the eastern part of Nigeria, right? Then you have roadblocks everywhere. But their job is not to provide security. Their job is to extort the people. Waste man hours. Somebody said, hang on, no. You see this sit at home in eastern part of Nigeria, which has now become so kind of embarrassing, so to say, right? Where you have some ragtag rogues going about and forcing people that they must, Papa, as much as you have so much roadblocks in eastern part of Nigeria, on the day of sit at home, they will all disappear too. And that tells you all you need to know. That is, if we now want bond on ourselves, we could have bond on ourselves. It's none of our business. We are here to make money. This actor, Kanayo O Kanayo, observed that. And I believe he's probably a victim of it now that he had to speak out. How can we be like? Are we still part of Nigeria?
Good morning, everyone. I left Felele Olorishogo area of Ibadan this morning at 7:15, and this is exactly 8:15, and I am in Lagos. And I found out one thing. Over a distance of 80 kilometers, I didn't see one checkpoint, one police checkpoint. I did not see. I did not see an army checkpoint. Have you ever applied the Onitsha Enugu Express Road? Did you ever count the number of police checkpoints or military checkpoints on Enugu Onitsha Road? I'm still on the road. This is Lagos. Have you ever counted? Why is the Southeast so militarized, so policed, that you cannot go for more than 200 meters without a police checkpoint? I need to ask this question because the delay in journeys and the humiliation people go through needs to be pointed out. I'm saying a distance, same distance from Enugu to Onitsha. Have you passed through Amobi and so on? The boundary between Enugu and Anambra. The number of police checkpoints, collection points, the military. So they humiliate our people so badly that most times everybody in the vehicle is asked to come down and hands up. Tell me now, and I'll believe it. Is this hatred? Is this dislike? This is not good. Let us understand, is the Southeast still part of Nigeria? And what are the leaders who can speak and make representations on behalf of Ndibo in Abuja and thereabout? Have you seen the state of roads, federal roads? This Lagos Ibadan Express Road is a federal road. So also is Enugu Onitsha Road, Port Harcourt Owerri Road. Have you seen the state? There's no single pothole from Felele in Ibadan, your state, to Lagos. No single pothole. Have you applied the roads I've just mentioned between Enugu, Onitsha, and so on? Leaving the head bridge and so on. These are federal roads. Clarify me, what have we done? This is bad news. I am calling on leaders to make representations. The delay on these roads is not good for business. It's not good for our place. And the level of policing, please, I beg you, demilitarize the Southeast. The police, these places have called. The humiliation, the extortion is getting out of hand. That guy's here. God bless you.
You know, I've said that on this platform many times. I haven't driven on the west-east road or east-west road in years. Maybe I only did just once, and that was years ago as well. Okay, but I have seen eyewitnesses who have shared videos of these endless criminal checkpoints in eastern part of Nigeria. I have done a few research, which I have shared here myself, to show to you that there is no single federal government project, Nigeria project, in any part of eastern part of Nigeria. Not a single one. People were so shocked when I said that, a few months back. Said, you can probably fact check me. Is it on roads that you can say, there's this road in eastern part of Nigeria built by government of Nigeria and the road is completed, is motorable? Not a single one. Is it rail line? There is not a single federal government project started, completed in any part of eastern part of Nigeria. Not a single one. And it is deliberate. When you now see the level of the militarization of the region, it is like Nigeria has, they has this policy, and that policy is to continue to just lay siege on the eastern part of Nigeria, okay? Like laying siege to keep watching, not to provide security for them, no. Not to keep any, no. It is, if you see any security officials of Nigeria in eastern part of Nigeria, it is to either commit crime, extort them. That's the job. And you can fact check me if this is a lie. It is sometimes hard to believe. It's hard to comprehend and say, how is that possible? And the criminal politicians from that part, last time I used that word, criminal politicians, your politicians in Igbo land are culpable in whatever, in whatever state-sponsored, policies against the Igbo people in eastern Nigeria. Your politicians are in on it. Somebody said that, not all of them. Look at Abaribe. I was like, imagine, you should have listened to yourself. You need to give me more names for me to now say, oh, not all of them. Abaribe is a senator. What can he actually really do? Take a look at all of them. Even the Alexoti that we are praising here a few days ago, a few weeks ago, is actually unraveling slowly now. It's unraveling. And I will be here to share that with all of you as time goes by. It is like they've just agreed, here you get now, to whatever Nigeria is throwing at them, okay? And whatever their people are going through, as they have been subjected to in Nigeria, it's just like, it's like they are in on it. Yeah. So when he asks that if the Igbos are part of Nigeria, I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think so. Eastern part of Nigeria is just a part of Nigeria for the mere geographical expression of it, not part of Nigeria per se. So to me, it's like they just set up all these guys there, these guys who are wielding guns, committing different crimes, kidnapping, organ harvesting, kidnapping of young men and women, raping and all that, extorting them, harassing them. When it comes to providing security for them, they are gone. You won't see them. Because I don't think anybody will militarize the western part of Nigeria and will keep quiet. It's possible. Like Yoruba land. As mad, as selfish as our own criminals are, there are some certain things that they won't allow. They won't keep quiet. Yorubas. No, we won't keep quiet. So you get? Yeah, we might be, as some would say, our people may be like also captured people. Zombies, but there are some certain things that will not happen in Yoruba land. Harassing our youth that way, like, you know what I mean, like killing them that way. No, it's not going to be anything that's going to be passed on that way. No. Fortunately, they have other ways of harassing us too, with the Fulani terrorists, and we can't talk about it, or else, right? They will shut us up. I know that one, but you have no idea. You have no faint idea of what they are doing to them in the eastern part of Nigeria. You may wake up in the morning, going to work, and there is this out of security guys, criminals, flashing their guns like that at you, and everybody will say everybody should come out of their cars, come out of the bus, and raise up your hand, and you will walk like about 2 kilometers. Yeah, in Eastern, they can do that in Enugu, in Owerri, in Anambra, in all these places. Sometimes you just be like, which kind of life it is? And indeed, if you are traveling down there, you probably will think, is this also part of Nigeria? But their politicians are more or less like comfortable. The last time Koolu was there, right? I remember when he was there, I think it was in Owerri, when Hopeless Uzodimba was his host. So Koolu.
I stand before you to say you have gone through twists and turns of democracy. You've been through some aspect of hard decisions. Each time I watch the news and see one frame or the other, one pain or the other, associated with the removal of subsidy, just remember that among you, your families are pregnant people. The day of birth is the day of pain. You go through the labor pain. When you see or you hear the voice of the baby, your pains are gone and you are relieved. Nigeria is at it. The last 40 years, some very few people were cornering our commonwealth, calling it subsidy. I call it wasteful and thievery. But right now, we are going through the pain. We are sharing that pain. But today, we are inaugurating a man's second term, a renewed hope. And that is why I am here. To guarantee you that hope, that things are looking up. Things are getting better. And it will get greater and better for the common good of the Nigerian public. We just need to work hard, be more patient, persevere, and you have consistency in governance. Don't worry. With me here is hope. The real hope. Say it again. I assure you, there will be substantial development in the education of your children. You will see the priority in industrialization. Healthcare will receive more allocation and more attention. Don't worry about what you are hearing about the Japa syndrome. We will train more people. And then we can supply themselves.
Could you make any sense out of everything he said? This was like months ago when Hopeless Uzotimba was doing his second term inauguration, remember? You know the pain. I know some of you have family member pregnant. The day of delivery is pain. God damn it, man. And they were just words too, right? There will be a better for your children education. There's nothing. Nothing. So this is the fate of the Ndigbo in Nigeria, that they have, though they love to, you see what others love to kind of make you feel like in Nigeria as Igbos, is that you don't need Nigeria anyway. You know, they will tell you that the Igbos don't need Nigeria. From the 20 pounds, the Igbos, you know, they rebuilt themselves, and today they are among the wealthiest in Nigeria and Africa today, and all of those things. These are pretty much like trying to, you know, try to internalize your trauma. You're either in or not. That's how it should be. Where you need government presence to further enhance the living standard of the people, to show that you are part of this contraption that they are forcing you to still remain part of. You can't wish that away on, we don't need them, we are better off, we are this and that. But in reality, right, they are responsible for the continued underdevelopment of the region, militarizing of the region, and the continuation of the Cold War, which has brought no one anything good. So to say, you're either in or you're not. That's how it should be. But trying to make it look like we don't need them too. They don't, you know, and all of that. It serves the purpose of what they want it to be like, right? Which is the purpose that don't ever empower them. We don't even know how they manage to get through the booby trap that we put in their path. And there's another thing too, which I observed. Every time that the Igbos are talking about their marginalization, the Biafran war, the killings and the rest of that, you will see other tribes who used to be part of the old Eastern region. That will be the time they too will begin to talk about what they suffered in the hands of the Biafran soldiers, so as to see if they can cancel whatever, what do you call it, the marginalization the Igbos are, you know, sort of publicizing. I don't know if you have noticed that. I have. All right. So not only talking about the fact that if Igbo, the eastern part of Nigeria, which they have cut to size and cut some of them into other parts of the state to make them minorities in Rivers, in Benue, in Kogi, in, you know, Edo, in Delta, and all these places that they cut the Igbos, instead of putting them as, with their land, instead of to put them as part of a region when they are creating their geopolitical zones, right? They politically cut them off. They cut some of them into Benue to make them minority. They cut some of them into Delta to make them minorities. They cut some of them into Edo State to make them minorities. They cut some of them into Rivers to make them minorities. You know, Akwa Ibom, all these areas. So now, the other tribes that are they used to be part and parcel of the old eastern region. So whenever the Igbos are remembering what they suffered in the hands of Nigeria during that called genocidal war, that will be the time you'll be hearing the Jaws, the Shekiris, the Yorubos, the Anangs, and others like that. We begin to now talk about how the Biafran soldiers came to steal their food, how Biafran soldiers came to kind of attack their village and all of that. And they will give credit to Nigeria for saving them. Have you noticed that? It's always like almost simultaneous time. Like it happens. See, everybody can tell their stories. Because as we speak, in Nigeria today, the only thing that is more democratically shared is the marginalization of everybody. Whether you go to the north, you can see the visible, the visible marginalization of the people, the poverty. Whether you come to the southwest, you can see the abject poverty and underdevelopment in the whole place. If you go to the same Niger Delta areas, you will see the destroyed environment, the water, the land, and the rest of that by Nigeria. If you go to the Igbo land as we speak, right, you will see the degeneration, you will see the marginalization, you will see the entire underdevelopment in some of these areas too. So, but people kind of still want to, they want you to shush as Igbos, because the misery, the miserability, or the miserable existence that Nigeria represents seems to have been that we call the shared misery, okay, where everybody just need to remain in the contraption. So if the Igbo speaks, they will say that do they complain? What about this? What about that? What about yeah, and all that? In the process, it works for Nigeria. It does. So if you are from the eastern part of Nigeria, you will agree with me that the criminals who are there in the name of one Nigeria, we have them in southwest, we have them all over the place. Now still they, now still they fight the Cold War. I mean, sorry, the genocidal war in your head, where as we stay divided, they stay united. Because see, in true sense of it, right? The criminals in Nigeria come from all the tribes, right? And they are friends. They have friends. And as they say, now the poorest of the poor, now them they fight a tribal war. Now them they do the tribal Olympics and all of that, or ethnic war, or even religious war. The criminals from all these geopolitical zones, as you can put them, right? They are united at the top, dealing us this blow. So, as you know, the likes of Tifnumbu and those who are still going to come after Tifnumbu, they will build on this our gullibility, our division, and every other thing that keeps us in bondage with them. I saw some of them discussing, creating more states. I don't know if you are aware. Yeah, they are creating. They're going to create. I don't know if they will create the state or not, but they are debating creating more states. They want to create Ijebu State. Yeah, Ijebu State out of Ogun State. They want to create Ibadan State out of Oyo State. Are you aware? Here is part of their conversation on that, though, in case if you need to know.
The second order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended to create new Oyo State, with Oyo Town as the capital city from Oyo State. Effect consequential change of the name of the remaining part of Oyo State to Ibadan State, with Ibadan City as capital city, and define the local government areas comprising the two states and for related matters, standing in the names of Honorable Adeyemi Akin Adeni and 6 others. Honorable members, We recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, October 10, 2024. I now invite Honorable Adeni to move that the bill be read a second time.
Honorable Prince Hakeem Adeniyi Adeyemi, I represent the good people of Afidio, Atiba, Oyo East and Oyo West, and from the Paysetter State, Oyo. Mr. Speaker, I rise to stand in for the debate on the bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, to create new Oyo State, with Oyo Town as the capital city from Oyo State. Effect consequential change of the name of the remaining part of Oyo State to Ibadan State, with Ibadan City as the capital city, and define for local government areas comprising the two states and for the matters. Mr. Speaker, sir, I so move.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it.
Order, please.
Again is a straightforward request led by 6 members, which I believe must have received the permission of all members of Oyo State caucus, so we'll just go ahead and put the question. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Constitutional Review for further legislative.
So if they succeed, we are likely going to then have more governors for more states, more National Assembly members, plus more local government areas, I think, and then more money to feed these gluttons, these gluttonous crooks. There will be Anioma State, Ijebu State, Ibadan State, and what others? I think they want to create about 7 or 8 other states. You better go and check if they don't create state for you too. Nigeria does not need more states. The most that people can get to get themselves together is for all of us to go back to our autonomous regions, where people have a lot in common, scrap all these states, right? And let people govern themselves according to their own choosing. And if that is not possible, how about you ask people if they still want to be part of this contraption or not? Yes or no? Yeah, let people decide. Do you still want to be part of Nigeria? Yes or no? Or no, the clowns would rather do this, as it is going to build more jobs for the boys, more shops to be opened. Indeed. Well, I have more to say, but I'm going to keep all of that for later this evening. Okay? However, I think it will go without saying that I am kind of impressed seeing the completed red line rail track in Lagos. I shared a video on Mayogun's Diary Political from last night, and I've seen so much responses on all that. Listen, there are so many questions you can ask, okay, on this kind of a project. But the fact that they've been able to put it up and running, right, will require us showing it, so that the rest of the world won't just be like, everything is just gloom and doom. That's not me. On Mayogun's Diary Political, when I see it, I will say it. That is why, most of what we shared on this platform is to raise awareness. It is to show to you what is really going on. And hopefully, there's going to be a change. So if we did see anything that we say, oh, this is not bad. I mean, having a train that runs 330 kilometers per hour, that's quite impressive, right? So maintenance culture and other things that you might want to raise about it is all legit, including the underdevelopment of the internal roads, especially in Lagos. Because the reason why we are saying this is that with the amount of rent seeking and taking in Lagos, right? The development of that place should have been so much far better, but the greedy ones are not interested in taking care of the needies. So that's why they say if you can get rid of the greedy, you probably will have a lot to take care of the needy. So on this one, you can give it to them. I saw this last night. Somebody shared it, and I'm sharing it with you too. Mushi train stop in Lagos. This is what it looks like now. And that's just Mushi, okay? There are probably like more than 6 other train stops that you will probably wish that remain so, maintenance and all that, okay? Lagos State currently makes over 1.6 trillion naira in revenue generation. That's a lot of money if it's not squandered as usual, right? So you would probably want to see more and more better developed road structure, road network in the state with such amount of money. But yeah, let's say the ones that we have seen, okay, and continue to expose the ones, right, that are not really good, so to say. So on that note, I'm going to draw my curtains like that, and you can join me later this evening when we are going to have our comprehensive, show on Mayegun's Diary Politico. Okay. Until then, remember, you can still like my broadcast or subscribe to my channel. You won't miss anything. If you are among those who no longer get notification that Mayegun is live, especially on YouTube, I advise you check that's your notification setting. Something might have gone wrong. Okay, check it. Set it on again. Set it to all notification. Wherever Mayegun puts up, you want to know. Then you can join us anytime. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. So good afternoon.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun Diary Politico. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdò. olódodo. Mayegun diary na him be number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Jíjó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Prẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Òwúrọ̀ olóṣèlú.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Ayé.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣeré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣeré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Mayegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.